How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So now that we've officially had the Autumn Nations fixture list released, we are able to see all of the teams that are going to be playing, exactly when, dates, and so on. Now, I wanted to run through the Springboks calendar for the Autumn Nations and yeah, kind of take you guys through everything, because this is going to be a difficult Autumn Nations for South Africa. By no means is it going to be a walk in the park, and they have some serious talent that they are going to have to go up against. So, um, yeah, let's break it down. And first of all, we start off with the Springboks alignment camp before we get into the fixture list. Now, South Africa did the Springboks and Rassie, they did announce a alignment camp that's going to be happening, I believe, early March, and I think Rassie invited 56 players to the alignment camp, and that's basically just to get everybody on the same page so that they know what's happening. It's all domestic, so any international players were not invited for understandable reasons, and everything is going to be held in Cape Town. Now, there were 16 uncapped players that were invited to the alignment camp, and they include players like Ethan Bester, Renzo Duplessis, Cobus Weiser, Ethan Hooker, Lorenzo Julius, and so on. So um, there are some serious talent on show and that have been invited to those alignment camps. So I'm really looking forward to potentially seeing a lot of these players, potentially even get some international caps for the Springboks later this year. But they're going to have to work their absolute backsides off, because this Autumn Nations is no joke. Now, obviously, South Africa are going to be here, there, and everywhere. I do believe they will be playing Argentina in Twickenham earlier on in the year. But the tests that are on show here is ridiculous. So, first of all, Saturday, the 8th of November, which is going to be the opening game for South Africa in the Autumn Nations. They are up against France. Now, we all know what monsters France are, having players like your Intermac, Dupont, Malvaka, Miafau, Biere. The list goes on. Thomas Ramos, bloody Gross, Aldrit, Budahan, world beaters. They are ridiculous, and South Africa are really gonna have a difficult time up against France. Obviously, they have flaws. South Africa are very, what's the word for it? They are very resilient. They will fight tooth and nail to win. They will do anything in their power to stop you, and they will do it bloody well. So France is no means going to be an easy test, but considering how consistent the Springboks are, I feel that they are going to eventually end up getting through, but with a lot of bumps and bruises. Then we have Italy, a much easier test of the two. We all know how Italy like to play. They aren't necessarily the most creative from the back, so what they're going to do, they are going to kick for points. They're going to make things difficult. They're going to want to they want to help you cause handling errors. They basically want to get any chance in front of those sticks, right? And then they'll use players like Thomas Allen, who is just phenomenal, and they'll just be planting them in through those sticks, gaining points. We saw them do it up against Wales. We saw them try it up against a lot of teams. But yeah, it's by no means, again, going to be an easy test, but it's definitely going to be easier than France. And I do feel that South Africa will have this one in the bag by about 20 points. Now, the next game, Saturday, the 22nd of November, is going to be quite possibly one of the biggest games of the year outside of South Africa. Playing in New Zealand, South Africa playing up against Argentina, is going to be Ireland. Because we all see how close Ireland are to South Africa. They're a very close number two. I think they're only number two by 1 point, right? and that could very well change in the Six Nations if Ireland are able to beat France and to beat them well. Okay, so Ireland are by no means going to be an easy test. This is a game that I could again. This is a game that I could potentially see South Africa losing. We saw in 2024 it was a close match, but South Africa ended up losing, and it was only Ireland and Argentina that managed to beat South Africa in 2024. Now, albeit that's a brilliant record, Ireland are a very scary team, especially when you have players like Bundy Aki, James Lowe, Sam Prendergast, who is really, really proving himself to be a real pain in the backside for a lot of teams. I'm loving watching him play. I just don't want to see him play up against South Africa. So he's definitely making himself a big, big name and solidifying that 10 spot for Ireland. But it's going to be hard if Tide Furlong can keep fit and be ready for the autumn nations. Oh, that's gonna be ridiculous. I mean, you will have Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan, and Ty Furlong. That's just scary. That is a scary front three, right? Never mind your Kalen Doris, your Ty Burn, your again James Lowe. Just absolutely, absolutely ridiculous. So Ireland are definitely a team that I could see South Africa winning. And if they do, and if South Africa do win, I feel this is going to be maybe a 1-2 point game. It's going to be tight. It's going to be close. And South Africa are going to rely a lot on that forward pack to really dominate that territory and really use players like um, your Archius Neyman to really put pressure on Ireland. Obviously, we've seen how he's been playing for Leicester, so he'll know these boys very well. Sorry, Leinster. Um, and then using your Sasha Feinberg to really start making plays, to use the likes of your Eben Etzebeth, your Sia Khaleesi's to start really working and gaining that territory, jackling, causing mistakes, making a lot of pressure on Ireland to disrupt their play, right? Because we've seen when Sam Prendergast gets freedom, he is very, very, very destructive. But South Africa are no means an easy task, even on the best of days. So I'm quite intrigued to see how this one will eventually end up playing out. But I do have South Africa to win by just a couple points and retain that number one spot, because we all know if Ireland beat France, depending on how well they beat them, that's potentially well, I don't think that they will be able to overtake South Africa as number one, but they'll be very close. And then taking consideration the rest of the games through the year, they could definitely see Ireland pull up into that first place. And we all know how hard it is and just how much of a grip Ireland like to have on that number one place in the world. So a win for South Africa in the Six Nations up against Ireland is going to be a crucial, crucial game. And then to finish off the autumn nations, we do have South Africa versus Wales on Saturday, the 29th of November, which that one should be relatively simple, straightforward, get the job done, and just crack on. Unfortunately, Wales do have a wooden spoon in their future in terms of the Six Nations. We have seen Gatlin, whether he's been sacked or whether he's been, um, whether he retired, we don't know, because they say it's by mutual consent. But it's going to be interesting to see how Wales play throughout the year. We did see the moment Gatlin was sacked. I think Matt Sherritt, he came in and then immediately he brought in players like Anscombe and Max Llewellyn into those backs to really start adding in those extra tries, because we've seen just how good they've both played for Gloucester. this season, and I think Max Llewellyn already has like 7 tries to his name. So definitely adding a lot more firepower in there, and would be lovely to see them get a win within 2025, albeit how unlikely it is considering just looking at their Six Nations. No, sorry, not their Six Nations, their Autumn Nations fixture list. It's not an easy fixture list. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see, and obviously I'm hoping players like um, Lorenzo Julius, Ethan Hooker get their international caps and start putting in performances, because we've all seen how well they're playing at club level. We saw just how good Lorenzo Julius looked when he came on for the Sharks up against Toulouse. Whenever he tends to play for the Sharks, he brings that energy, he brings that fierceness. And then having someone like Sasha Feinberg and Mgonzulu, that name always trips me up. Um, he's one for the future. He is up there along the lines of Wallace Atiti, and he's only got like greatness ahead of him if he can stay injury free. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below in relation to this Autumn Nations. Personally, having France and Ireland here, which is it's essentially one playing number 2 and number 3 in the world. It's going to be an interesting Autumn Nations, and it's really going to be a fight for number 1, as especially between Ireland and South Africa. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, and who do you think is going to be South Africa's breakout star of 2025? Because personally, I got my cards on Lorenzo Julius. He is primed to become a Springbok. He is priming himself to really nail down a solid position. We've seen how he's been playing for the Sharks, and he's just got so much to offer. So especially with South Africa becoming an aging squad, having a player like Lorenzo Julius on the sidelines, geared up and ready, just waiting to pounce, it's only gonna benefit South Africa. So Springboks, let's go. Let's crack on, get an undefeated season, although it's going to be very, very, very difficult. But I have faith in you. And guys, as always, please like and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.